My impact story is a real personal one that I don't mind sharing. I was 25 years old, 2 young children, straight fresh out of a domestic. And now I don't mean a domestic to where I was getting physically harmed every day or shoved into a closet or anything that's, remotely traumatizing as that. But still, after 7.5 years of this marriage, it ended. So as I'm sitting there in my situation, blood on my face, baby in tow, other one in school, what am I supposed to do? Well, the first thing that I knew to do was to call 911. So I picked up my child, removed ourselves from the apartment, and I did so. So as the police were taking pictures of my face, taking down statements, my child in the next room, coloring on a Xerox piece of paper with some highlighters, a housing manager walked up to me and said, "You should call 211. Mind you, again, 25 years old, meager education, family support was, little to none. I had no clue what the word resource was or what it actually meant. All I know is that I was scared. I had 2 humans to look after and no support. So gave 211 a try. And when I did, I was connected to domestic violence resources, to organizations, to support that I never thought existed. I mean, here I am, GED in tow, nothing else but PCA work under my belt, and 2 children to care for. So the domestic violence organization was able to set up a phone so that I can receive calls and get job interviews and things to that nature. And as time went on, I kind of forgot about 211, until something else happened in my life. Now I can't pay my rent because my ex-husband was the sole provider. So now I really have to figure out something to do because no one cares what your situation is really. Pay my rent or get out. So again, what popped into my head? 211. Well, they helped me the first time. Maybe I should call them again. So I called them again and I got help again. I was able to find Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services, and they were able to assist me not only with representation, but they paid for my divorce because it was a domestic. Things, again, no clue. Fast forward a little bit, starting to get on my feet, I'm able to pay my rent. 211 told me about Project Bay Section 8, which I, again, no clue, didn't know it was provided for me where I lived. So I'm struggling a little bit. I'm kind of hanging on, but then again, still struggling. Holidays are upon us. And now my children are like, we've been so good, Mom. And, we're not being bad because, the divorce and Dad's gone and we cannot wait till Christmas because Santa is going to hook us up, And so, of course, I'm like, yeah, can I talk to you? I had to tell my children that there was no such thing as Santa because I had absolutely nothing for them. No tree, nothing. And then I thought again, 211 has already helped me out twice. Within 18 months, let's do it again. And I did. And from then on, there was Toys for Tots. There were holiday baskets. There was even an organization that sponsored and adopted my family for Christmas. So when my children woke up after I had told them that there was no Santa, there was a full tree with the fixins and trimmings and turkeys, and it was a blessing. It was heaven sent. And my oldest, who's 25 now, comes to me and says, "Mom, why did you tell us that Santa wasn't real?" Hello, and so 211 not only saved my family's life, but they saved a little part of my children's childhood. I can't imagine what they would have had to have gone through if I didn't have the support of 211. Of course, we are just community resource specialists, but there's so much more than that. We bring our uniqueness to the 211 core team. So not only did 211 provide things of a material substance as far as, gifts and toys and things of that nature, they also provided a sense for my children to still be children. Because if 211 wasn't there to give me the resources that I needed to provide a little bit of assistance for me and my children, they would have had to have grown up far more quicker than what they did already. So let's fast forward 20 plus years later. Again, found myself in a bit of a struggle. I didn't like the job that I was doing. Well, I take that back. I used to like the job. I used to love the job that I was doing, but I burned out. And so it was my time to find something else. So as I'm searching, looking for whatever I think that would, of course, pay me enough to pay my rent and to take care of my children, to be able to live and still enjoy life and still look myself in the mirror off of what I was providing and whatever occupation that I get. So one of my friends at the time, she said, you know what, you should try to apply for this call center. The manager is really supportive. He's, nice. And, I've never worked for a company like this before. We're based in Minneapolis, and I'm not sure about the pay, but, I think that this would be a good step, and I'm like, no, call center, okay, I'll give it a try, right? So, a little bit of time passes, I get an interview, I get all gussied up and ready and practicing my answers to whatever vague questions I can think of in my mind. I'm ready. So I walk into this building, just an average building, an average office building. I walk in, I get to the floor that I'm supposed to be on, I turn the corner, and there, United Way 211. I couldn't believe that after 20-something years of me leaning on this support system as 211 not only empowered me, but somehow brought me right back to the beginning. So of course, I'm like, say less. Yes. Overnight, weekends, I'm your girl. Because now I found something that I can give back. I found something that makes purpose for me. I found something that made me feel like I had more of a purpose. Like I was actually just part of something big, and it's funny. 5 years ago, if someone were to ask me what I did, I'd probably try to gloss it up as much as I could so that I sounded important and that I sounded like I was making a difference and that my job was important. And now, oh, what do you do? Me. Oh, I'm glad you asked. I am a 211 CRS, which is a community resource specialist. And now I'm also an assistant manager of the housing division. So now, if someone calls looking for rent, want to know more information about project-based Section 8, I'm your girl. And so I say all of these things to you to say, when you want to give your time, your energy, your finances, you want to know that who you're giving your time to, your sweat, blood, and tears to, that it actually benefits. But here at Greater Twin Cities, United Way 211, you will absolutely be sure that your proceeds, your donations, they all 100% go back to where they need to be. Someone like me 25 years ago that didn't know the word about resource, scared, alone, and had nowhere else to turn. So if you give anything, give what you can, give to us, because we're not always able to help, but we're always here to help.